I'm Dave, the tomato guy, and today we're going to talk about best soil, best potting soil for your tomatoes. Improving the soil will probably be the best improvement you make growing tomatoes. To start, let's ask ourselves, why should you even listen to me, Dave the tomato guy, about growing tomatoes? Because as you will see, I know what I'm talking about. That's me in the picture. You're looking at 3 tomato plants, each with over 100 pounds of tomatoes. If I can do it, you can do it, because I'll show you how. I do this for free. I'm retired. Growing tomatoes is a hobby. Why listen to me? Because, as I said, I grow great tomatoes. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. You're going to see more pictures just like these as we go along, also on my website. I will show you how to easily grow tomatoes just like these. What does the Los Angeles Times say about me, Dave the tomato guy? Los Angeles Times feature story said, "Want a bumper crop of tomatoes? Listen to this guy." Go ahead and Google it. Take a look. Also, you can Google Tomato Expert Los Angeles, and you will see my name, Dave the tomato guy, comes right up. This video is going to run probably less than 10 minutes, probably 8 minutes or so, and we're going to cut to the chase, keep it short, to the point, watch it all the way through. Towards the end, you're going to see pictures of great looking tomatoes that you can expect to grow along with some important links. So hang in there. It's going to go by quick, and you're going to be looking at some great tomatoes. I will show you first the best soil for your tomato plants, and then we're going to explain why this soil. I don't hassle making my own. I buy it ready to go for easy, instant, no hassle results. This video is about choosing the right soil. You will use this soil when growing in pots, containers, raised beds, or in the plain old backyard. To grow great tomatoes like you have seen in the pictures so far, you're going to choose from the following 3 pictures of potting soils. 2 of them are organic, 1 is not organic. Personally, I think the first 2 are equally the best. After you choose your potting soil, visit my website, learn the details on how to plant and how to grow tomatoes easily in pots, containers, raised beds, or your backyard soil. My website is www.growtomatoeseasily.com. Miracle-Gro Blue Bag Potting Mix, available big box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's. It's not organic. Google it for more information. Organic Choice, made by Miracle-Gro. It's organic, only available during the spring months at Costco. This is actually my favorite potting soil, and it's about half the price of the blue bag. It's the same size as the blue bag, but at about half the price. G&B Organics Blue Ribbon Blend. Kellogg's makes this. It's good, but honestly, it's my least favorite. You can go ahead and Google it for more information and where to purchase. So, why should you buy one of these potting mixes, one of these potting soils? These potting soils have valuable water holding abilities. They contain 40 to 50% peat moss or sphagnum peat moss as the #1 ingredient. So what's the big deal on that? 1 pound of peat moss or sphagnum peat moss can hold up to 25 pounds of water. When you look at that soil and you check that soil, it's going to look and stay moist all the way to the top, all the way down the sides. Like a sponge, These soils hold moisture around your roots, which will produce a massive root system that can support a big top and lots of tomatoes. When roots are going to die when your soil is dry, and when you use cheap soil, it results in dry soil, and you're going to have a small root system that can only support small tops and not so many tomatoes. When you buy your soil, you want to check the label on the bag. So if you don't find one of these pictured potting soils, when you buy your soil, the bag must say either potting soil or potting mix, and these terms are interchangeable. Then you want to go to the ingredients on the bag and see what's listed first. It should be peat moss or sphagnum peat moss as the #1 ingredient. There is not a big selection of potting mixes or potting soils listing peat moss or sphagnum peat moss as the #1 ingredient. So if you find more, email the names to me so I can share these names with other people. Other ingredients listed after peat moss or sphagnum peat moss are less important to really fuss about. This is the ingredient label on the blue bag. As you can see in California and elsewhere, sphagnum peat moss is the #1 ingredient. This is the ingredient on the Costco organic bag. California, peat moss is the #1 ingredient. Let's talk a minute about cheap potting soils. Cheap potting soils are going to list the #1 ingredient saying something like contains processed forest products or recycled forest products. So what is that? It's like ground up brush, it's like ground up tree branches. It's much cheaper to fill your bag with ground up tree branches than it is with sphagnum peat moss or peat moss. So don't be fooled by a cheap price. The cheap soil dries out quickly, and as we talked, when the soil's dry, roots in that area are going to die. You're going to have a small root system and a small top and few tomatoes. You'll be the bonsai tomato person in the neighborhood. And let's keep in mind, at the end of the season, I know this soil costs a little more, but you're not going to throw it out, and you're not going to replace this soil with brand new soil. At the end of each season, as the soil rots and decomposes, just keep adding new potting soil on top of the old, and go ahead and replant another new tomato plant. And what results can you expect? Not hope for, expect. The best potting soils and mixes cost a little more because they hold water like a sponge. And this is going to be your first step in growing great tomatoes. It starts with using great soil. With great soil, you're going to have, like we said, a massive root system, produces and supports a big top, big tomato plants producing lots more tomatoes, and on top of it, you're not going to need to water as often. Take a look at what you can expect. Look at these pictures below. If I can do it, you can do it because I will show you. Keep in mind, I make no money, zero money, recommending any of these tips. No money at all. For me, growing tomatoes is fun and a hobby, and I enjoy helping you do the same. And when you use these soils, you're going to save on water. Instead of that water running through and out the bottom when you use cheap soil, this soil holds the water like a sponge. The details on how to grow and use these potting soils in pots, containers, raised beds, regular backyard dirt, etc. It's all explained in detail on my website. Just about everything you need to know on growing great tomatoes, you're going to find it on the website. Take a look, bookmark it for future reference, www.growtomatoeasily.com. Take a look at the picture of those tomatoes down there. So, to wind things up, just about everything you need to know, it's on my website. Take a look, bookmark it, and remember, if you don't have a green thumb, I'll give you one. Take a look right here, more tomatoes that you can grow every bit equally as well as I did. Any questions? My email, DaveTheTomatoGuy@gmail.com. Website for total information, GrowTomatosEasily.com. YouTube channel, and use the quotes when you enter this. Use the quotes around grow tomatoes easily. And if you forget all this, you can simply Google Dave the Tomato Guy. Everything about me is right there. This video, if you could, I appreciate it. If you could like, share, comment, subscribe. And you're welcome to share this information with others, family, friends, clubs, etc. Sharing tips helps us be better growers. And don't forget, share your tips with me. Thanks, Dave.